Well, hey everybody, and welcome to That Fallout Show. I am Rick McVick, and with us tonight, as always, is Shalene.
Hello, hello.
And Vendortron.
Welcome, sir or madam.
Thank you all for joining us this lovely Friday evening on the eve of BE3. No, I guess it's not. It's the eve of BE3 show, I guess you could say.
The Eve.
And it's our 22nd episode, our story so far, part 3. We got some stuff to take care of before we get started tonight, and that is how you can help us promote the show. You can share us on your social media, you can send us emails, you can like, subscribe, and retweet, and you can even tell your friends about our show or host us on Twitch or anything like that. All of
Rick,
that
do you ever
helps
have
us
a hard
out.
time not saying we tweet?
Do I say that?
Or is that only me? Is that just me?
Do I say
I have to
retweet?
make a conscious. No, I'm just
Oh.
saying, like, I have to make a conscious effort not to say we tweet.
So, real quick backstory. When I was a wee little kid, I could not say my R's. I would say wiki and we tweet and wah, right? So, my dad gave me some speech therapy by saying, if you don't start talking right, I'm going to hit you. No, he never did that. My mom did. So, what happened was my dad... I'm kidding. My dad would go, Ricky. And so I learned how to say my R's by dragging them out. So no,
thanks,
my
Dad.
R's don't trip me up.
So retweet.
Well, I'm going to practice that.
Retweet. Anyway,
I derailed you. I'm sorry.
you did. I wasn't even finished my sentence.
That's
And you're
gotta be
like,
like
hold
a
up,
record,
wait a minute.
man.
Let me put a little R in it. Anyway, how are you guys doing tonight? How are you, Shalene, and you, Vendortron, doing this evening?
Well, I'm feeling really regretful that I was not recording Vendortron's interpretive dance of the intro song.
Oh, I missed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I really regret that no one else gets to see Vendortron's interpretive dance.
Dang.
And it's like it's somewhat of a the Mothman. Is that what it is? Fallout 76.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mothman.
Yeah. Nobody actually really gets to. It's like
It's mythical,
yeah.
legendary.
It just happens. You don't see
Yeah,
it.
but like 1, 2, or 3-star legendaries. It depends,
Yeah. Some would say it's ridiculous.
Anyway, now let's
yeah.
talk about our overview for this evening's show.
Oh boy.
We have a wee tiny little bit of news. There wasn't a lot that happened this week. Kind of a bummer, but hey, we're here. And but after that, we have some gameplay to talk about. And boy, do we have me and Shalene have a weird story to talk about that happened.
Indeed.
It was by far the strangest encounter we've ever had in Fallout 76.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, we met a very strange cryptid. It was bananas.
Yes. And then after that, we have a different kind of segment. Since we don't have news, we had to we're like, guys, we need something. Like, we don't write shows. We just rely on news to do the show. So we had to come up with something. And we decided that we were going to talk about our opinions on the state of Fallout 76 as it is right now. I think they just had an update, I guess, 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something. So it would be nice to kind of just do a small recap before BE3 because they're going to start talking about a roadmap. So let's take some time and talk about what we think about Fallout 76.
Indeed.
Then after that, we have our recap of the challenge. We're going to have a lore, which is we're going to talk about the story of Fallout 3. If you haven't played it yet, spoilers, but it's been like 12, 20, 30 years. I don't know.
It's been a year.
It's been
Get
a long
over it.
time since Fallout 3
We're going
is
to talk
out.
about it.
We're going to talk about it. So the story of how that works. Then we're going to talk about the weapon of the week, which I guess I didn't need to put W's on because it already is W's. And then some emails and actually a voicemail. So before
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
We have a voicemail?
Somebody left us a
We don't even
voicemail.
have a phone.
I don't know how they did it. But they found us.
Wow.
They left
Okay.
an
Was he
MP3 on our
actually
doorstep.
just like hiding in the corner of your studio there?
Yeah. So yeah, but before we get to any of that, we like to congratulate, and thank our lovely listeners who give us 5-star review shout out. So Vendor, take it away.
Yeah, 5-star reviews, my favorite part of the show because I get to do it, you guys. We've got one person giving a 5-star review shout out all the way from Canada. They might not be in Canada anymore because Canada is on fire. As
And
you
not in a
can
good
see
way.
behind me, it's on fire. The whole place is on fire. Ivy Killa sends us a 5-star review shout out. Thank you. We also have 3 people from the US. Easy8, the M4. Thank you for the 5-star review shout out. Dude Fuse TIB or Tib. And Catnip15. Thank you for the 5-star review shout outs. If you would like to leave us a 5-star review shout out, all you have to do is go to iTunes and search We Just Love Games, That Fallout Show, or GameStack Podcast. And you can click 5 stars and leave us a little message. And sometimes we share those on the show. We also have some new people to the Discord. Guys, the Discord was kind of chaos this week. Right?
Yeah, well, our Facebook page was too. One day I was driving to work and I just put on a good song, and then it goes bing, ba-ding, 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 and I was like, what is going on?
Meanwhile, Shalene and Vendor are just having a regular morning conversation in the Discord. Oh, we got the bot working again, so all
Everyone's
the cat
getting
pictures.
banned.
There's just like cat pictures left and right, and then lizard bots getting banned and making new accounts, and it's just so good. We have a new channel in the Discord for gear now.
Gear?
Because I bought this adorable tiny little headphone tube preamp, and it all lights up and it's cool. And I thought, hey, we need a gear channel, and so I made a gear channel, and everybody's posting all their cool stuff. We had somebody post a wood grain design PS4 limited edition.
Can you not?
What are you doing?
I'm stroking some of my gear.
Face for our audio people, a really creepy face, and just petting his audio equipment.
Yeah,
I like to twirl my patch cables around my finger.
The channel is inspired by you, Rick. So if you want to post your gear in there, post your gear in there. And anybody who's in the Discord, share us your setups. Show us what your consoles look like. The place where you go to escape and play video games, or do all the things, podcasting, streaming, all that stuff. We love to see that. And it's also been a good opportunity for us to talk about different equipment and what works for us and what doesn't work. So
I didn't even know that channel existed. I'm just gonna spam that with pictures and
I just put it in there like yesterday or today, so it's new. Also new to the Discord are the people who joined. We have Zed Flanders. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. 32-bit browser, welcome. Dave Chaffins. Dave Chaffins
from Vault Boys, West Virginia, who was on this very podcast.
Dave, yeah. Who has a beautiful home, by the way. He posted a video of his like gaming setup, and then he like walked outside to show the smoke that he has outside from Canada.
Really? Dave?
Yeah.
In West Virginia?
I think he was showing us that where he lives is the same scene that was in the game.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you're right.
It's like
you're right.
The same location.
I was like, why is he showing us why are we going on a field trip?
Yeah, we went on a field trip because the dome, the Golden Dome at Charleston was right visible from his door.
We also have Cole T18. Welcome. Cheshire 313, Lindy Danny, Smokey Simon, Eli W, and Miss Fiddle, and Soliore. Welcome to the Discord. If you would like to get access to the Discord, all you got to do is send us either a personal message or find us on social media, and usually the link is posted on our profile page. It's open invitation, no obligation, but it is really, as Rick likes to call it, the chat after dark. So keep it coming. Keep the people coming. Also, if you're in the Discord, you're automatically entered into our prize giveaways when we do giveaways on the show. So that is the best way for you to get entered into winning free stuff.
Do you
I
want?
totally forgot to send out the code from last week.
Do you want to? Do you want to?
I-
Hey, vendor, do you want to tease a little bit of the prizes we gave away?
Yeah, so I had given out the codes that we gave away last week, but last week we gave away some pretty awesome 2D side scroller like 90s retro games. And we actually got a thank you back from one of the viewers who was one of the winners. Said he's been playing it and it's super, super fun. Some of the other games that we get are actually pretty top notch. We've given away some AAA games as well,
Top.
and some video game soundtracks and art packages as well. So, yeah,
Awesome.
lots of good stuff.
Cool. Well, we don't have a ton of news, so let's just go ahead and walk on into that mushroom cloud of news.
If you like news, you're gonna love our next segment.
What didn't happen in the world of Fallout, Shalene?
You know what? You're gonna have to cut off the news bumper because we're gonna be done before the news bumper runs out.
Well,
So we really didn't have much going on this week in Fallout. There was no weird news about like whales with Fallout in their baleen, or just there was no weird Fallout news, no Fallout game news. There was nothing. So we just thought we would reiterate that E3 is coming and Bethesda will be there. The 5th annual BE3 press conference will take place on June 9th, according to GameSpot, before E3's official opening, and the live stream will begin at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time for those in the United States. In the UK, that is 1:30 a.m. BST, so that's going to be a late night or a very early morning for you folks across the pond. And you can watch this on Twitch or on YouTube, but the best place to watch it is right here on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames, where you can join Rick and Vendertron and Mistress LeBeau and Tim Twig, who will guide you and be your Sherpas and commentary and hold your hand as we discover all of the excitement of Bethesda's announcements together.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. And we're actually going to go live an hour before the conference, just so we have time to kind of chit chat about what our expectations are and have, Liz and Tim tell us, what they think as well. So
I for one, am really excited to have some refugee/veterans of the stuff that we've been doing for years on the show with us.
I'm a little heartbroken that I'm going to miss them, gotta say.
I'm a little heartbroken that you're actually going to be there in the conference.
I don't even want to hear about heartbroken, Shalene. I was the one who had all these plans to go. I keep getting invited to things. I keep watching you get invited to stuff, and then I get let go from my job, so I can't go.
Word on the street is you're going to some party with Snoop Dogg?
Yes. Yeah, I got invited to a party where Snoop Dogg is the DJ. So, yeah.
I don't even know.
I genuinely am probably going to
Snoop Dogg party. I don't go to party.
Can I get a little real right now? I'm probably going to cry a little bit for BE3 because I'm not able to go. It's so sad.
Well, save, because next year, E3 2020, all three of us are going. We're planning it. It's going to happen. And we have a year to talk about it and plan it and save up for it. So
next year, Bethesda goes out of business. We're like,
yeah, Bethesda's not at E3 next year.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows if we'll get in again? It's not like we're IGN.
No. We are the kind of funny of podcasts.
You know what? Rick said West Virginia.
Kind of Funny has podcasts, dear.
We're better.
They Kind of Funny is the Kind of Funny of podcasts.
No. What Fender?
Well, I was just gonna say, Rick said West Virginia. They made a West Virginia.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm their content creator.
So, they get our ideas from our show.
I think that's why they don't give us much attention, because they don't want us, they don't want us to
Again, the Muppet meme where he's like looking straight and then to the side and he's like, what? I'm not here.
No.
Oh my gosh. So I'll say hello to Snoop for you.
Yeah. Get a picture with him, Jeez.
Seriously though, help me out after the show. What do you wear to a Snoop Dogg party? I don't
Nothing. It's a Snoop Dogg party.
Lots of gold.
Yeah.
Lots of. Just put every piece of gold jewelry that you
That's
have
not Snoop
on.
Dogg though. That's like baggy pants, Hammer Time guy, MC Hammer.
Well, maybe. Well, I mean, you'll be in California.
clock.
Just buy some cannabis and head on over to the
Called
party.
weed, man.
Well,
Listen
then
to
I'll
you.
lose my job too, vendor. They random test us.
Oh, right.
I work for the government.
First of all, Shalene, they only randomly test the people they know who definitely don't do drugs.
Yeah, like you would be
Actually,
like the person we least
yeah.
suspect. You know.
In New Mexico, they test the people who they know definitely are not going to be on drugs. They test the people that they know are going to pass.
That's what I'm saying. That's
yeah,
everywhere.
they test them over and over again. Yeah. So I'm on the list every time.
Yep.
So,
One of these days, you should just fail and be like, well,
yes, and be unemployed. And then,
Must be that new hemp chapstick I bought.
yeah. It was the poppy seed bagels. Gosh, let's move on, please.
all right.
Anyway, Snoop Dogg, that's a thing.
Mhm. What else?
yeah,
what
I'm
else can we
excited.
expect at BE3?
Pardon?
What else can we expect at BE3?
BE3, I don't know. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of Doom. I think Doom is going to be the center of the show because they're painting the Figueroa with a big giant Doom mural. So you may remember last year when Fallout 76 was announced, they painted the side of the Figueroa Hotel, which is 3 buildings, with this mural of 3 Vault Boys. And this year it's going to be Doom up there.
Mhm.
I thought it was really hilarious. Somebody took a mirrored photo of the progress, and they had just had the Doom logo, and the photo was mirrored, and they said "Big Mood." I thought that was hilarious.
Have either of you two ever played? Now we're gonna kind of take this off the Fallout subject real quick and kind of into Bethesda general thing. Did you guys ever play any of the Doom that they made?
No.
I didn't either.
I played the demo of it, and the demo was enough to tell me that the gameplay was really smooth and gorgeous. I did not like health pinatas. That was a bad mechanic in my opinion.
Health pinatas?
Yeah, you have
Oh.
to punch your enemies to get health out of them.
That is weird. That's like a weird choice.
That was a weird mechanic, I thought. Kind of like the black eye skull in Halo. But that's neither here nor there. I was uncomfortable with Doom because it's, it's like hell. There's all these like pentagrams and like, it was too much for me.
But you're going to
My
a
little
Snoop Dogg
church-going
party.
heart.
So you were afraid if you played too much Doom, you would like start cutting a pentagram in your forehead and listening
Yeah.
to Diamanda Galas.
Yeah, exactly. I might listen to Snoop Dogg. No.
Ventura. Yes, Satan? Oh, sorry. Thought you were someone else.
Do you?
But yeah, it wasn't for me.
Okay, yeah.
But I do recognize the quality of the shooting.
I love. It's such a mom review, I love it. Well, cool. I for one, I guess I'm not disappointed, but if the focus is on Doom, I mean, I don't understand. It kind of has me a little worried because maybe BE3 is going to be like 2 years ago, where it was just kind of like, here's a 40-minute video. Because there's not a lot
Here's
of
the creation kit.
Doom is kind of, in my opinion, cut and dry as far as it's not like it's going to be open world. Hell, maybe it will be.
Maybe it will be an open world hell.
Do you think that's why
Ugh.
Todd Howard is not attending this year?
Maybe
Because
they
there
just don't
isn't
need
a
him.
lot of Fallout.
Maybe I do.
Are we sure that he's not attending?
Uh,
I mean, I predicted that he wasn't attending, but I don't remember
in
that.
the article here, it says Todd Howard has
Oh.
confirmed. Wait, no, I stand corrected. While Bethesda's announced The Elder Scrolls V is in development along with the brand new game called Starfield, Todd Howard has confirmed these will not be at E3. I misread
I still
that.
think that's a lie.
I thought it said that he wasn't going to be at E3,
Mhm.
but yeah.
I've got a feeling we're going to see a roadmap for 76.
what kind of roadmap?
Well, country roadmap. Were you setting me up for that? 'Cause,
Nice.
yeah, I tried. I
Knocked
think-
that one out of the park.
So bad it's good. TFS guys, Trash Fire show.
Yes. Or That Fire Show, where we talk about all kinds of fire. Specifically Canadian fire. So, or friendly fire, in regards to Shalene. So,
Hey.
We're never gonna get through
I
the
resemble
show.
that remark.
I think we're going to see a roadmap of content, and I kind of feel like they were producing what we've gotten so far to get us to E3, where they're going to announce, oh, here's the upcoming thing. I predict that we're going to see story content versus...
That would be really nice.
I think so too.
Versus what we've been getting, which is just like little IV drips
Snippets of things,
fun things. Or like, here's a quest.
Yeah,
so
I think we're going to get a massive new storyline.
Especially with the nuclear winter. That's why I think we're going to get a roadmap of the winter. So, yeah, it'll be cool. I don't think we're going to see a new Fallout game, be it a remake or even a tease of 5. I do also think they have to talk about Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6. They would be so stupid if they didn't.
Yeah, we're going to get a full Starfield trailer.
I wouldn't maybe go that far, maybe teaser trailers more than what we've gotten, but there's no way they can go through this when on everyone's mind and lips is Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. Let's be honest, that Fallout 76 is on the back burner of E3 because of these two IPs. In everyone's mind.
I think there's no way we'll see Elder Scrolls 6, much of that. I think it's
I agree with that.
Not far enough into development, in my opinion, but I just can't imagine that they would do all of the BE3 marketing as a literal field of stars and not show Starfield. To me, that's just like, why? How could you do this so badly? Like, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe this will be a bad BE3, like that one year that it was a 40-minute video. I don't know.
I like one of our moderators extraordinaire in the chat, Archon, says he's really eager to look inside Vault 51. I'm also equally excited for that. I just want all the Fallout things. Scrap everything else.
Yeah.
Anyways,
always makes me put on my conspiracy theory hat.
Tinfoil hat
I
time?
always turn into the guy in the meme with the strings every year.
I'm telling you guys, Fallout 76 is one big social experiment. They're just testing how we react in these situations.
But it can't be. But it can't be now that we're self-aware that it is.
Well, that's what they want you to think, Rick.
A social experiment requires the one who's going through the experiment to not be aware of the actual experiment. I mean, right? I mean, come on, Truman Show. The second he found out, the whole experiment was gone. Well, we know, so we've ruined it.
But they don't know. They don't know. We know. They know.
Are you kidding me? That Muppet intern fella is like watching, and he's like, "I'm not here."
They're on to us. Yeah.
The white van in front of my house just pulled away.
Yeah, the white van.
What? It's a Chevy conversion van. I mean, Maryland license plates.
I've seen Ocean's 11. It's good.
12, 13, and 8.
Oh, 8's my favorite.
Is it good?
Anyways, yeah.
You guys are the best.
I love Sandra Bullock. She's amazing. Yeah.
Miss Congeniality was all right.
Yeah. I'm walking here. I'm gliding. Sorry.
Where were we?
That's going to be Shalene in LA. She's going to be walking to the conference, and some taxi's going to come to a screeching halt. I better hear that. I'm gliding here. Yeah.
I spent like all weekend last weekend picking out dresses to wear to E3.
Of course you did. I imagine you have a whole other suitcase just for makeup.
I'm trying to keep it under control. I'm trying to keep it down.
Like, you're probably going to have to pay for a second check bag just because you have so much makeup. Actually, you'll probably not check a makeup bag because it's too valuable, and you'll bring it on the plane.
The makeup is coming in the carry-on.
Yeah, it's coming in the carry-on.
Vendor, Shalene, that marvelous Miss Maisel episode where they pack to go to the Catskills.
Oh, that's the best.
That is Shalene. that is absolute Shalene. Do we really need this up there? No, we don't. I'll bring 4 just in case.
Yeah.
Do you see what you're doing? Anyway, where were we? We're doing a show. What are we?
We were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that? So is that it for the news? I think that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It wasn't really news. It just turned into some kind of, I don't know what this was. But
Okay.
it was fun.
well, things tend to get a little ballistic around here. But, you know, for the sake of bad segues, here we go. Vendor. Take it away. Take it from me.
Guys, we're on patch 9 of items and sales in the Atomic Shop. This was updated on May 28th. We've got a couple free items with this update. You and your pals can actually pick up the the Let's Nuke emote for free this week in the Atomic Shop.
There's a Let's Nuke emote?
That
Yes.
sounds very sexual.
So this will be available on
Let's
June
nuke.
4th. Yeah, June 4th.
You
can
always gotta take it there, Rick.
I know.
Absolutely.
Guys, I'm trying to do a segment here.
I have a phallic name. What do you expect?
You can also get the Pioneer Scouts poster until June 9th for free. And the Personal Camp Terminal is also available for free, and there is no planned end date for that item.
Cool.
There are a few things that are under limited time offer. They're bringing back the Hotter Rod bundle, which contains paints for your Pip-Boy, Power Armor, and Power Armor Station. And you can also set Appalachia ablaze with the new Firefighter Excavator paint, which is available until June 4th. So there's a few items that have a limited time. Available until June 4th, like I said, the Firefighter Excavator Power Armor paint and the Hotter Rod bundle as well. We also have some item sales. What's today's date? Today is
31st.
31st.
May 31st. Okay,
Is it
so
the same
you've
in
already
Canada?
missed the opportunity to get the Red Rocket Pip-Boy paint that ended on the 29th, as well as the Red Rocket jumpsuit. I'm super jealous about that.
Oh, I didn't even know that existed.
You might still be able to get today the big red button player icon. That is available, 60% off, marked down from 150 caps to 60 atoms. You can also get the spacesuit set. That is available till June 1st. Available to June 2nd is the modern fireplace, 30% off. The red enamel cooking stove that you guys all have come to know and love is 40% off, and that deal is available till June 3rd.
Nice.
And the Garahan Excavator Power Armor paint is available to June 4th with a modest sale at 10%. There are some new items as well. We love new items, right?
Of course.
The Hotter Rod Power Armor paint, which I mentioned, is available for an atom price of 1,400 atoms. You can get a Stalker outfit. I don't know what this is, but I'm intrigued. The Hot Rod Power Armor Station skin is also available as a new item. You can get First Responders Pump Shotgun skin, as well as a Fire Axe paint set, Fire Man Flamer paint, Hot Rodder Pip-Boy paint, and the Red Hot player icon. There's another list of a bunch of things. I don't know if you guys want me to roll through those, but if you guys are interested, just check out the updates in the Atom Shop. But they show some items that were available previously and are still available for purchase. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, great. I, for one, like new things to purchase with atoms.
yeah. Have you guys spent any more money in the Atomic Shop?
No,
I spent
just
some money, guys.
Like real
Did
money?
you?
Some real money.
Oh,
I did. I bought the $5 Atom pack. It was the tinfoil suit that did it. I had to have the tinfoil suit. I couldn't pass it up.
you caved.
Jim Justice looks gorgeous in his tinfoil suit.
Oh man.
well, good.
Bet you we could like
I have
spot.
no reason.
Is it like shiny? Like,
Oh,
can we
very shiny.
spot you from a mile away?
Yes.
And I imagine that it crinkles as he walks.
Man, that's awesome.
Nice. Now we just have to, Shalene, we just have to get Vendor to
I know.
Aloel asks in the chat, does anyone use the repair kits that cost 50 atoms in the store? I have not bought one. So I haven't used them.
I can imagine using them because ballistic fiber is so dang hard to get.
Well, you know, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about our gameplay real quick then. Because on that note, I was talking with Archon, and I think you guys too, just complaining a little bit about how, I'll go out into the world and walk around a little bit, and all of a sudden my armor's broken, but it requires so much ballistic fiber, it's insane, and it's just impossible to repair all of the armor at once. We're either farming Camp McClintock or Fort Defiance, I think is the other one. You're trying to find the ballistic fiber bags or the military ammo pouches, that's what I meant, and also military-grade duct tape. Yeah. So what I did was, instead of getting some of the perk cards that I really wanted, I went ahead and got the ones that when you repair armor, it improves it plus percentage.
Yes.
So I've done that, and that has cut down on my repair costs as far as the time length of repair.
Okay.
Like, so much. And then I got the armor is cheaper to repair, and that has cut down my ballistic fiber requirement from 5 to 2.
Wow.
Yes.
I have to get that.
Interesting.
It's so worth it, and the game has become much better to play in that regard. Are you editing my spelling?
No, I was just scrolling down.
So yeah, I those are just lifesaver perks. Is the improved? I did the same thing for weapons too. If I repair a weapon, it repairs it 160 plus. I haven't gotten the other perk card yet to make it to 200, but yeah, it's been a lifesaver, especially for guns that break very easily. Archon's like, I told you. I know, but I wanted all the damage multipliers, and turns out they really don't feel like they do much. After Dusk, it is the White Knight that I'm talking about, the White Knight repair thing. So that's made things more enjoyable as far as I don't worry so much about, like, not every venturing into the wasteland is a supply run, as it started to become. And I didn't want to do that because there's a lot of the Pioneer quests that came out that require you to explore and be a part of the world, and if you're constantly, running around with damaged armor, it can get pretty hairy pretty quick.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, the Pioneer Scout stuff came out, and it was pretty fun at first. It was a lot of fun at first. You had the badges to get, the backpack, the outfit was awesome. I started working on the tadpole badges and not the possum badges. And I'm still working on a couple of the tadpole badges. A couple are bugged. The medic one was bugged. The hermatologist, one of the tologist ones was bugged. You build the frog jar and it didn't take.
Herpetologist?
That one. Yes. The Procta herpetol thing. So, yeah, that was kind of frustrating, but it was all right. In order to do some of the cooking challenges, the s'mores, that sort of thing, you have to get the recipes, and you have to do at least to my understanding, you do the Pioneer daily quests to try to get those recipes to drop, and then you can go out and grind for the ingredients to make the recipes. So I've been logging on, doing Enclave quests to get the Urban Armor armor outfit, and I have that now. I've got the full chest, leg, and arm set up. It's pretty awesome. Just got to go find mods for it. So I've been doing that, and I was like, man, I'm going to do these badges. It's endgame content. This is going to be great. We're going to do it. And I started to get a little slogged out, just doing something for the umpteenth time. And, yeah, Fallout's, more on that later. So, yeah, it's these badges are starting to become at this point where it's this myriad of checklist items that when you finally get to the end of it, it's one of those things that games do now where you're like, oh, I'm going to do like 40 hours worth of work to get this thing. And then you finally get the thing, and you've put another 40 hours into the game getting the thing. And then you're like, well, what am I going to do with this awesome thing that I got for playing for 40 hours? And they're like, well, do the same stuff again. And you're like, but I just did it for 40 hours straight. Or you get it and you're like, oh yeah, put a flag down. But by the time you're done getting it, you're just kind of burnt out a little bit, so you can't really like enjoy that reward.
Yeah.
And so yeah, a lot of people were just in it for the backpack. I was too. But that's what I've been doing every time I find myself logging on, doing the Enclave, any Enclave events that are up, doing the dailies for the scouts, and then logging off, and then logging back in, kind of doing that over again.
It's the passive. Another settlement needs your help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't talk about it, but it's there.
Yeah, it's
It just doesn't have that face, that spokesperson to turn into a meme, but it's
still there.
Right. And
there are people out there that have time and patience to do that kind
Absolutely.
of grindy work. I am not one of those people anymore. I used to be, but not anymore.
Right, and I'll put more thoughts into that, but that's been my gameplay, and that's kind of all the gameplay I had, just because that's all I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you, Vendor?
Well, when they pass the money basket around in church,
Yeah.
when they give it to me, I usually just hand it off to the next person. So, Shalene, what is your gameplay?
Wow.
Nice.
That was a journey.
Masterfully done.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Well, I don't have very much either, because it turns out it's an awful lot of work to get ready to go to E3. And I've been so busy with that in my free time, because it's also a busy time of year at my job. So I haven't had much time to play any kind of video games. But I did play a bit with Rick earlier in the week. Was that last Friday? Maybe? I don't know.
It's
it
something.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But we worked on the tourist quest, the photography quest, and it's
Right.
kind of buggy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we went. I took pictures of that skylight for like half an hour. I had to quit the game and reload the game, and eventually I finally was able to get a picture of the skylight to count. It was weird. It was a weird little thing, and it kept disappearing for both of us. My quest would just disappear.
Yep.
And then Rick's quest would disappear, and we can't work on the quest because it's just not in our quest log. It just poofed, vanished.
That's frustrating.
It was a little buggy.
Yeah.
But after I finally got that photograph of the skylight, we left that building. I don't recall what it was called. It was a mall, I believe.
Yes.
So Rick and I are walking away, and in the forest nearby, I see a humanoid figure. And I turn my head, and I'm like, "Hey, Rick, is that a mutant?" Because it's moving through the woods quietly, and I feel kind of weird about it. And I sight in with my scoped weapon.
Oh, we got to mention too. It was just walking. It was just a scorched, skinny-looking thing, just walking through the woods nonchalantly. And we have to mention too. We were in the toxic forest.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like we were in the east side of the map, north of the Cranberry Bog, where it is rough. It is tough. All right. And it's just kind of walking along through that toxic forest. Yeah, it was super creepy.
It gets weirder. It gets
real
weirder.
Weird.
Okay.
So I sight in on this guy with my sniper rifle, thinking I'm just gonna take him out and get the little XP, because can't go wrong with a bit of XP. And it turns out it was not, in fact, a scorched.
Nope.
It was another player.
Yep.
It was a human player, and he was just walking. And I
the
thought,
mire. That's
man,
where it was. The mire.
did this guy did he just like put a rock on the button on his keyboard, or what's
Right.
going on? Did he tape down his controller?
He's
What is
just
going on here?
walking, and he's a
Just-
level 2.
And I go over and I'm like, well, this guy's level 2, he's in this rough area. I think I'm going to give him some stim packs. So I go over and I wave at him and I'm like, Rick, I'm going to give this guy some stuff. So I'm going through my inventory to drop a bag of stuff for this guy. And Rick is like, Shalene, I don't think he wants your stuff. The guy had put up his dukes. He didn't even have a weapon.
No.
But he put up his fists and looked at me, and then just turned and kept on walking.
He did.
Oh, that's funny.
And we were like, what is going on?
So at this point, it's clear that he didn't just sit a rock on his keyboard. He's actively walking. Just
I
walking.
wonder if it was like, someone's Eevee was playing
No, it wasn't.
with their parent, and
it wasn't
was
that
like,
random. That's what I mean. It was a deliberate choices they were
Very
making.
smooth, deliberate walk, very smoothly avoiding trees and that kind of thing.
Was he over encumbered?
No,
just
he was
Okay.
level 2
just walking.
in a vault suit, just walking.
walking.
And
so
so
random.
Rick and I were so enthralled by this weird situation.
Right. Yeah.
So of course we followed him,
Just
because
followed
of
him.
course we did. And before, I think you need a little background. So
Okay,
earlier
okay.
in the day, Rick and I are looting up at the ski lodge, and I'm in this room like picking a lock, and I turn around and the door is closed behind me, right? So I open the door and there's Rick in this mascot suit. It was like a squirrel mascot,
Yes.
a giant, like, gross, disgusting mascot head.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just in this room, and I don't tell her I get this thing, and I just walk as close as I
Was
can to the door and
waiting
just
behind
stand
the
there.
door when I opened it.
You're ridiculous.
And we laugh, I open the door and I'm like, ah! And we laugh. And then Rick turns around and he has a little stub tail.
Yeah, with foam coming out of it.
We lost it, man. We laughed so hard. So that's how Rick is dressed.
The boy
I want that
shorts.
to be clear.
Okay.
As we are following this fellow through the woods at a gentle walking pace,
Leisurely pace.
Rick is dressed like that. Yeah, and we're just cruising on through.
And like, where were you originally headed when you ran into this character?
We were at a mall in the Mire, and we were.
Did you have a purpose though?
Yeah, we were taking
you...
a picture of the rotunda for the.
Mhm.
Oh, so you totally
Quest.
got derailed.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
And he's coming from the south, man. Like, this dude had been walking, and his health was really far down.
Oh, that's
And-
awesome.
and
That's
this
why I
dude
was
was
trying to give
walking-
him stim packs.
Yeah, and this dude was walking up from the Cranberry Bog direction, and we were like, first of all, how does a level 2 get over here? Like, it's not super easy to just like waltz into the
Yeah.
mire and kind of survive.
Yeah.
So like, he just kind of walks over there and is just now walking north. So he was more south than where we were, and we're about halfway up the map, and so he was down in the bottom, southeast corner, and the dude just starts waltzing north. And so
So we're following him.
yeah,
And he basically just ignores us and carries on his merry way. And
walking
Yeah.
around stuff,
yeah. And we just follow him. And Rick is like, Shalene, this guy has to be streaming this. This has to be some kind of weird streaming,
Thing.
shenanigans.
Let's see how far we can just walk.
Yeah.
Yes. So I decide, you know what? You're right, Rick. He's got to be a streamer. We have to be on Twitch right now. So I decide I'm going to find him. I'm going to find this stream. So I'm like, Rick, I'm just going to leave Jim Justice behind this tree. You stay with him, and then I can teleport to you.
You guys are like, you're the crazy girlfriend that nobody wants.
What?
So I open Twitch and I go through all the Fallout 76 streams that are happening at the time. I couldn't find him. And I'm like,
No.
well, here's one that's a level 2, but it's not him. And here's one that's in the mire, but it's not him.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
We never found him, so we don't know what he was doing, but it freaked us out.
Well,
Yeah.
he wasn't streaming though.
It's true. He just
Not on Twitch.
a
Yeah.
lovely
Maybe he
John.
was on Mixer or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Weird.
But yeah, and so while Shalene's like doing some detective work, I hear "Get him," or whatever, and these super mutants spawn out of nowhere, and
Oh,
they
no.
just go, "Frap," and he drops like a stone, like in a
It was
second.
Like a
9
sack of
level
hammers.
65 super mutant.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6. They were all like 70 plus leveled,
Right.
and I'm just opening up with all my guns, trying to survive because there were 2 guys with miniguns, and those things just eat you.
hmm By the time I get there, Rick was dead too.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
that's
like on the ground.
wonderful.
She had to revive me, and then and we cleared him out, and then he went off somewhere else. He spawned in and just was gone, and that was the
Mhm.
last we saw of him. It was the creepiest thing ever, man. We're like,
It was totally surreal. It felt like an urban legend happening.
it was like this was the most cryptoid of all the cryptids.
It was so weird.
It was the king cryptid.
Weird.
And that was pretty much all I did on Jim Justice, the PC character. I did boot up my Xbox character one evening, and I finished off the Raider quests for Rose, and that was pretty neat. I've been working on those for quite a while, and I've played them all single player, and it felt really kind of momentous to finish that. It felt like I'd really accomplished something. So Fallout 76, it's fun with friends, but it also really works as a single player game as well. But that's it for my gameplay.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, one of the things that, and by the way, someone in chat was like, that'd be a cruel thing to, or he says, I can't understand, Mobius Strip says, I can't understand how level 2 got over there unless someone gave him a Nuka Shine. And he goes, that would be a cruel thing to give out at Vault entrance. And I was like, evil thoughts brewing in my head.
Oh my goodness
That is
gracious.
Brilliant.
So mean.
Brilliant.
But there's more to it than that because of the walk.
I know,
He wasn't running or jogging. He was just smoothly, slowly walking.
Yeah,
It was weird.
I mean, it had to be somebody who just started Fallout 76 for the first time.
I don't know, man.
Maybe possibly even their first Fallout game ever.
I don't know. It seemed calculated. That's why I figured he was streaming.
Meanwhile, it's Schlene's mom in the other room, just giggling away. She can hear you going, I don't know what this guy's doing. I'm gonna go look at his stream.
So this kind of leads us into what I wanted to talk about tonight, the state of 76. And I want to get everyone's thoughts, maybe like a roundtable discussion of where we feel like the game is at. For me personally, with the last couple of updates that have come out, I have a problem when games start getting to the point where they're telling you that this is the only game that you can play, in the sense that the content is so vast and requires so much of your time that if you don't put that time into it, it's this like you're behind, or you're just not caught up with everything. So by the time you're around to play, you can't do it alone. Like, you can't solo it, and you need people to play with. And it just, I've been here before. I've gotten there with Guild Wars, and I've gotten there with Destiny, where like you hit this plateau and then you need to go the extra step. One of the problems I have with this sort of format, and I get it. It's not that, Destiny and Guild Wars, it's that type of game where most people who play that game are devoted to that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem is, it's like there's a game type in Destiny called Gambit, and the new Gambit Prime game type, when you start getting rewards out of that, you get special armor to help you do better in Gambit, depending on your playstyle. And by the time you play it and play it and play it and play it and play it, and you get the full suit of armor, I was talking to my wife about this. I was like, but then what do you do once you get that big suit of armor to help you be really good at Gambit? She's like, we'll play more Gambit. And I'm like, do you see where the problem is? Like, I'm the kind of person that, like, I like games where it's like, you get the awesome badass weapon 75% of the way through, so you can finish it the 15% of the game with the best weapon. I mean, it's the way Knights of the Round material was in Final Fantasy VII. You could get that towards the end of the game, and then you could just obliterate everything with it. And and I understand that there are people who just like to do the Gambit thing, or like the PvE, and that's all they do is play the Call of Duty PvP stuff. And I get it, and that's fine for Destiny and things like that. But my fear is Fallout 76 is going to get to that point, and I don't think the majority of Fallout players, regardless of whether or not they like playing with someone, are at that level of gameplay where they're like, I'm going to play Fallout 4 for 40 hours to achieve something that in the end has no purpose whatsoever because there's nothing else to do. Like, after you get all these possum badges, what are you supposed to do with it? Spend them on spend them in the vendor and get the things you build at the camp, or a mod? To do what with? Like,
I think really it's just bragging rights that you have all the badges, that you spent the time doing it.
And I get that, but that's not Fallout players, man.
No, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. And now Fallout for me is getting to this point where I've got to spend all this time, or I feel like I've got to spend all this time to do this stuff. And at the end of it, I'm going to be so burnt out. I don't want to play Fallout 76 anymore because, let's face it, the story content is gone at this point for us, except for the final mission that we all have to complete. But like I went through a lot of the side quests, and there's not many left that I haven't done.
Well, I think if you like the gameplay loop of Fallout 4, I think it'll be easier for you to like Fallout 76.
Fallout 4 didn't have a gameplay loop though. Not.
Well, I mean, in
it had
terms of going to the settlements and doing these grindy,
yeah.
like getting
That's
things.
true.
You know, there's in Fallout 76, I think, you know, there's a little bit more with regards to being able to explore and openly interact with other players in a world, and the emphasis on exploration is certainly there. One of the things I think that makes Fallout 76 distinct is that you don't decide the fate of the Fallout universe or the wasteland or Appalachia like you did in Fallout 4, and that's different. It's it doesn't make you feel as big. Actually, one of the things that I found almost immediately going into the Fallout 76 universe was that I wasn't a big character, and my decisions really didn't have any repercussions, and that it was more about survival and living within that place. That was a better representation of survival than actually just going through the Fallout 4 storyline. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with you on all of that, but all I'm saying is I think at the end of the I'm guessing from doing this show for so long that the majority of Fallout fans are gonna get burnt out and bored of that kind of content very quickly.
Yeah, I think Fallout burnout will happen. Yeah, you're definitely right.
And if they keep it, and that's why I'm really excited to see whatever this nuclear winter roadmap is, because
that's the thing. You're both wrong because because when we go to E3 next week, they're going to show us amazing new content that's going to come out, and it's going to be different stuff, and it's going to keep it fresh. And I think they're going to keep rolling out different and new content. I think they're going to continue supporting this game for a long time, because I think we're facing a very long wait until we get to Fallout 5. So
which is probably that is the most brilliant business model that they could come up with. Is let's make something that will continually make us money and pay our developers to make a new game in the meantime while we're making the new game.
Basically, yeah, exactly.
That's how studios don't go out of business.
You're right, Shirley. You're absolutely 100% right, and I do not disagree with you, and I've never not thought that was what's going to happen. I do know they're going to continuously support Fallout 76. I'm merely talking about the type of content they're going to support it with. So, again, I'm going to use Destiny as an example. All of Destiny's gameplay stuff that they're doing now is not lore focused. It's not story focused. The story and lore is there, but you have to physically like go into the menus and read the lore. It's not told to you. And at least 76 gives you holotapes to like let you listen to the lore, which is awesome. I have no problem with that delivery system. My fear is what the stuff that we were getting, like the sheep squatch, you know, that sort of thing. I thought it was going to be a little bit more to that than just a quest line and then done, and then a repeatable event. Like I thought it was going to be a little bit more robust than that. And my fear is if this is the type of content we're getting, these little one-off quests and then like a daily repeatable event, like I don't think that's gonna work out in the long run.
They did keep us coming back for quite some time with Wild Appalachia. Thinking of Wild Appalachia as a complete pack, it's pretty impressive what they've done. You know, there was Biv and the Nuka Shine and player vending and merg and legendary script and the Boy Scouts and the sheep squatch and the imposter sheep squatch, and the sheep squatch thing was a big conspiracy. You know, it was
that was good. I'm not knocking any of that
there were
content.
a lot of steps to it.
I
don't know. I feel like that's pretty impressive. And Foshnosht was part of Wild Appalachia.
Yeah, that was fun.
I also think, guys, that a lot of the people who aren't here for that content aren't here anymore. You know, those are the people that
I
haven't
hope so.
stayed with the Fallout 76 community.
I hope so. But I would wager a guess that the majority of those people were also the ones that were bashing it in the beginning to begin with. And I will say with certainty from personal experience that I think Fallout 76 has vastly improved since launch. And, you know, perhaps naysayers really are the ones that are just bitter because it's more just a regurgitated multiplayer version of Fallout 4. And they were expecting new content.
And I do want to make clear, I'm not knocking anything that they're doing. I'm not knocking any of this
not
content
at
because
all.
I've enjoyed it.
But we have to have conversation.
Shalene, you make a good point. Like, I don't think that Fallout 76 is everybody's cup of tea.
No, I agree with you.
But that's par for the course with most games, right? And I think what matters is the people that do like playing it, because those are the ones that are going to continue to get an enriched experience in the content that is continually driven to the Fallout 76 universe. And I mean, look at the friendships that we've made over the game,
Sure,
and all of the fun that we've had. That in itself is worth more than any game.
I'm just saying my fear is it's going to get to that business model where it's like, all right, I've done the thing and I spent all this time grinding to get this thing. What do I do with this awesome new gun now? It's like, well, just keep doing the stuff you've been doing. It's like, really? Okay.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Like, I really foresee new content coming.
Oh yeah, it's not going to stop rolling.
But I don't think it's going to be necessarily, I don't want to say better content. I think it'll be different content, but I don't know if we'll really perceive it as better, because it's still going to be the same universe and the same game and the same mechanics, right? So
yeah. You know, and I'm going to use Guild Wars as an example real quick. A lot of their big updates are all story. Like, they have huge story updates where it's like, here's another like 16-hour storyline. And they constantly pump out that kind of content along with the type of content that is, you know, for the lack of a better term, grindy. So you can scratch all the itches, you know, where Destiny is like, here's just grindy stuff. And I'm hoping that business model of, you know, we're going to give you the script, we're going to give you the, you know, the daily events, the things like that, but we're going to give you like an 8-hour quest line that culminates into the end, at the end, maybe an event like the Sheep Squatch, but just a little bit more robust. I hope that the sheep, okay, so here's a good idea. I hope that the Sheep Squatch platform, that idea, is a model that they take forward, because that was amazing to go through and explore and find these things. So a big quest wrapped up into multiple events at the end of it that you can get cool rewards from. That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. The scouts thing is almost, the scout thing is what made me fearful, is what I'm saying. Because it was just like, here's like 2 quests. Like, the quest was literally to do the daily quests and then like and then earn a couple badges.
And to be fair, I haven't delved very deeply into that scout quest, so I might hate it after I get more deeply into it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they wanted you to earn 3 badges, so you do 3 badges, you do the 2 daily quests, and then revive a player, and that's the scout quest. And then they're like, all right, now you can earn the rest of the badges, and you've seen Archon's like laundry list of stuff to do. And I'm like, this is the kind of content that scares the bejesus out of me. Yeah. If like that's the model going forward.
Can I derail us for a bit?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, that's like it's what I do here. But the daily challenges, you know, I used to do the daily challenges every time I would log into Fallout 76. I'd go look at what the daily challenges were, and I'd clear them, and I'd earn some atoms, and I would feel great about it.
Yep.
But they've made them a lot harder to do.
They have.
You know, they're a lot less achievable for somebody who has maybe an hour and a half to do this quest. And they're heavily reliant on having already done a lot of other things. And I don't know, it makes me sad that they've done this with the
I would say that's been a big deterrent for me.
I feel like it's just to make us buy more atoms, to make it harder to earn atoms.
The level up one is tough too.
Yeah, it's been. I don't know. I like you, Shalene. I just don't have the time to put in to build a character that is something that's solid and do the quests and the challenges. I just don't have the time. So really, truthfully, I haven't really actually been able to fully enjoy the game.
Well, you have
So
been writing a lot, school and things.
my life is just crazy. And it's not like it was where I would work 9 to 5 and then come home and play Fallout, or on the weekends wake up early and play Fallout, and it's not like that anymore. So which sucks, but
We'll get back there someday.
And I
yeah,
When
definitely
you're Dr. Tron.
Dr. Tron, Dr. V.
I don't think 76 is a game that. I mean, I guess yes and no. It is a game that you can just sit and play for a couple minutes, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like that. You know, we can definitely all agree that there's not as much side quest and miscellaneous quest as there was in like Fallout 4 or 3 or New Vegas. It definitely has less of that. You know,
I think the thing that I'm most sort of upset about with Fallout 76 is how it's so difficult to enjoy the game,
interesting.
in the sense that they make it impossible to be able to buy items in the atomic shop.
What do
As
you
an
mean?
well, I mean, everything is so freaking expensive.
It is.
You know, if I
expensive.
want to buy a hat, it's 250 atoms. It takes me like 6 hours of straight gameplay to even get 260 atoms. And like, as somebody who can put in a half an hour or an hour here and there, I mean, it's just not feasible. Also, the taxing of goods in players who can set up their own store, I'm not sure I like that all that much, which is why I haven't really put in the effort to set up my own vending.
I don't mind that so much, just because I mean it's an irrelevant digital currency, so it's not that big of a deal. The atoms thing, the atom shop isn't meant to be free, and so earning atoms through challenges was never meant to be easy. I think they've made the dailies harder for the little that they give you, and so the balance is a bit thrown off. But that's the Atom Shop, and the challenges in the Atoms in game are a real world currency economy that they have to balance, so that way they're not just losing money to developing things that they are meant to make money on to keep the game afloat and alive, because people are just earning all the atoms in game. That it's supposed to be kind of like a, 15% of your atoms are earned in game, 75% of them are purchased with actual money. I think is kind of a good balance there, and they're trying to hit that. So, yeah, I mean, it is difficult to earn atoms, but at the same time, that's stuff that you're supposed to actually spend money on. But they make it really awesome, and it is really hard to like not want to
not spend money on. Yeah. and like
I had to buy that stupid tinfoil suit, man. I just couldn't do it.
And when it comes to stuff like that, I'm pretty frugal. I don't like to spend additional money to be able to get special outfits that are limited edition and things like that. Because for me, I mean, it's, if I can see it and I can touch it, then it's real.
Yeah.
And so I go really as far as buying a copy of the game, but I understand the whole idea behind it. But I still haven't reached that threshold of, putting my money in the game supports further development of the game and the people who make the game. So,
dear Bethintern, I know you're listening. Make an outfit that turns your character into a Vendortron, and Vendor will spend money in the atomic shop.
Yeah.
By the way,
pretty much that.
I also think it's funny that Vendortron hasn't created a store.
Anyway.
Yeah.
He's going against. He's like a bender that doesn't bend. Asher Dusk in the chat says, I'd like arcade cabinets in 76 that can save high scores from players that come across them. So let's see a Fallout arcade pop up. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so you heard it here first, folks. It wasn't our idea. It was one of our listeners.
Yeah, but you heard it here first.
Yeah, you've heard it here first.
If you need something to call it, Bethesda, you could call your leaderboards the hit board.
But by the
Wouldn't
way,
that be cool if they had like a that Fallout show arcade, and it was like the 3 characters were us,
I'd be so honored.
right?
I'd be so honored.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that I still am enjoying Fallout 76, especially when I play with other people, you guys, Archon, anyone else. It is a lot of fun, and it can get crazy and it can get weird, and I'm still having a ton of fun with it. It was just some thoughts that I wanted to kind of share and get off my chest about that thing.
I also
Asher Dusk in the chat says your Pip-Boy game would be putting out fires.
That's amazing.
What were you going to say, Shalene?
I'm also enjoying the game very much, and I am enjoying it both playing with you guys and also playing as a single player on my Xbox character.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's really stands up as a solo experience as well.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of people are saying that that's not true, but I disagree.
I agree with it too. So, I think we can safely say the state of Fallout 76 is definitely good. It's definitely better than when
very
it started,
Mhm.
and I think the country roadmap going forward will be good, despite having some fear of some bad turns along the way, which may or may not happen. But I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I think the combat, I hope that they improve some of the combat. There are times where I'm like spamming the switch weapons and it does not switch weapons until like he like wakes up from a short nap and then decides to like switch weapons in the middle of combat. So there's a couple little smoothie things out. There's some weird like graphical artifacts like with the lighting. You guys have seen that, right?
Yeah,
Where,
it's
like going
weird,
down a hill. It's all like yeah. So maybe next update content we can not have it, but some updates like to fix stuff like that would be great. But it's certainly playable now. So awesome.
Cool.
Let's talk a little bit about our challenges. Shalene, do you want to? Well,
Oh
actually,
yeah,
I got the pictures here. Where are the pictures?
I forgot about
So
this.
last week's challenge was to channel your inner Paige Davis and remodel your house.
So,
Wow.
First up, we've got Tisha Healy, Creeperson, on Twitter here. Says the housing market in Appalachia is amazing. I bought this house and this piece of land for exactly 0 caps.
That's a lovely home.
It is.
I
It's
love that she has a basketball net
on a tree.
And the outhouse outside, we've got
yeah,
the little porta potty.
and the little campground with the picnic basket.
Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo.
And just a little garden and some lampposts.
That's nice.
It is nice. This is the inside of her home. She gave a couple of
Oh,
them. So,
wow.
yeah, it's
Look
quite.
at that red
That's
carpet.
Lovely.
That's the shag pile carpet.
There's Yogi.
Na, 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 na. Yeah, he went after the picnic basket.
He's
He made a
flat
rug
now.
out of him.
They should take him down.
Yeah, she did.
That's great. That looks real nice.
Like the.
I love
Lovely.
this. I love this little window at the back of the stairwell. That
Isn't
it's
that
kinda
nice?
like- it's in the house, but it's not out of the house. You
Yeah.
know, I like
Looking
that.
into
It's
the
nice.
office.
Yeah, it's a little office. Got a radio
That's
in
about
there.
what my desk looks like right there. That's,
A couple of planners and a radio.
yeah, exactly.
This one is from Matt Crumbly on Twitter, and he sent us a bunch. I picked this one because it was the inside of his shop, and he's got a bunch of mounted heads and some other
Is that
stuff.
a conveyor belt? What is that metal table thing?
I was just trying to figure that out. I don't know what that
A
is.
walkway, I believe.
Is it a walkway?
I guess so, but that's an interesting
That's
way
cool.
to use it.
Yeah, it's like a long table
It
or
is
like a
walkway
workbench.
with some girders for legs.
Yeah, like it.
So.
Very nice.
And then we have Unlooted Vault. Now, this was a before and after. So this was like, this reminds me of like maybe a very far north Canadian lodge because the guy has that little like flannel Yashanka hat on. And
Yeah, and then Paige Davis comes in and is like, "We're gonna put some drapes
yeah,
everywhere."
Bar Rescue, is that the show?
Yeah.
And man, so for those of you listening audio wise, it's just a bunch of folding chairs sitting in front of like some wood shelving, and it's got like rusty stoves in the background and posters planted everywhere, and the tables out in the dining area are folding chairs and like folding tables. So this after shot, boy, is it an improvement. Move
Really?
that bus.
Yeah.
Wow!
Oh
my
my
gosh.
goodness.
Oh my
So-
lucky.
Even the bartender was upgraded.
I know the bartender's
He's got a
wearing
top hat on.
top hat and
And wearing
slacks.
Fenders and a nice
Oh wow!
Leather
standing.
chairs.
He's got better posture now.
Beautiful,
That is
beautiful,
impressive.
beautiful bar now, all wood
Does
intricate.
the bar have taps? What are those? Are those taps?
Those are the brewing machines behind it.
Oh, that's so good.
This is lovely.
Wow.
And, so yeah, and the entire building structure is brick with like nice dark wood floors.
Very nice.
And
Very
I love the
nice.
lion looking through the window in the back.
Yeah.
This next one is Right Face 86. He sent us a bunch of them, but I liked this one. His lakeside house, I guess you could say.
Nice.
And he's in his nice swimsuit. getting
Love
ready
the
to
lakeside
dive off.
feel.
Yeah,
That
it's awesome.
swimsuit is so cute.
Found a new place by a pond. Now it's time to go swimming, he says. And then we have, this is another one from Right Face. I thought this was a different, a view of the house, but it's actually a
This is
completely
just a
different
different-
house.
Oh, okay. Is this after the remodel then?
I don't
assume?
know. I
We'll-
thought this
we'll
was
go
just
with
a
that.
different view, but yeah, so there you go. And that's it. That's it for
Oh, I
last
love it.
week's challenge.
That was
These were great.
fabulous.
Those were great.
Yeah. Next week, or this week, I guess you could say, our challenge is Proud Scout. We want you to put on your scout uniform, or as I called it, your scout fit, and your backpack, and take a hike. Take a hike, and travel somewhere nice in Appalachia, and take a photo of where you took your scouting trip. So there you go.
Cool.
And how can people submit their challenges, Shalene?
You can submit those challenges on Twitter. Use the hashtag TFSChallenge, hashtag TFSChallenge. You can also tag us in that tweet at that Fallout show and just post your screenshot up there and we will share it with the world.
Or our world, which is all you need.
Yeah, it's the important part. So
That is the important part. So, awesome. We're going to talk about some lore. This is why everyone's here. I know it is. And the last two episodes we covered the story of Fallout 1, and then we covered the story of Bye Vendor. He just got up and left. And then we covered the story of Fallout 2 in last episode, and then this episode is the story of Fallout 3. I was thinking about going in the game chronological order, not so like IRL chronological order with Tactics and Van Buren and stuff, but I was like, we're gonna go the numbered ones and then go back. So Fallout 3, the story so far. Fallout 3 takes place in 2077, 200 years after the Great War. The location is in Washington, D.C., parts of Maryland and Virginia, and if you get the DLC, some Pennsylvania as well. The Lone Wanderer is born out in the wasteland, and his mother, Catherine, dies while giving birth, leaving him to grow up with his father, James. After the death of your mother, James takes you into Vault 101, and that's where you grow up, and that's all you know. You don't even know you've been outside the vault. Eventually, though, you come of age, and as a celebratory bar mitzvah, your dad just leaves you alone in the vault and causes chaos, and people die, and rad roaches are there. So they force you to flee the vault with said BB gun, a few BBs, and a pat on the back, and a can of beans. When you finally leave Vault in Fallout 3, I wanted to take a special note about this. For Fallout, for most of us listening, I'm going to assume that Fallout 3 might have been your first experience in the Fallout universe. I know I think the three of us, it was our first experience, Fallout 3 was.
Yep.
Was it for you, Shalene? She's muted, but I can
yes,
see
it
she
was.
said
I'm
yes.
sorry.
So yeah, Fallout 3 for a lot of us was our very first experience of anything Fallout. So all we know at this point is the vault. We are just like the Lone Wanderer here, and all we know is the vault for the first hour of our gameplay. And the moment you leave that vault and your screen gets blurry and it goes away and that music plays, Exit the Vault, by Einon Zur plays, and you see the wasteland for the very first time as the Lone Wanderer and as a player experiencing Fallout, the Wasteland, seeing something like that on that scale, I can say that I've never seen an open world apocalyptic scenario, and it was the most haunting and gorgeous thing ever. So I want to take a special note at this point and just kind of like, for those of us who had that experience, like what an experience that was.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was a special moment.
Leaving the vault for the first time, you know.
And walking through that town, what was that?
Springfield.
Springvale.
Just south of Megaton.
Yeah, and it just was.
And the mailboxes, and it was just so empty. Everywhere. And then that little iBot comes rolling around. Yep. And you're, what is that? Oh my God.
Yep. I mean, it's everything about that moment was so amazing. And I wanted to take a special note at this point and just kind of talk about that. Because it's very poignant in the story, leaving that vault for the first time. And so it was with all of us playing it for the first time. But after you leave the vault, you typically wander off. But in the story, you travel to Megaton, which is the nearest big town, in search of your father. And you can ask a bunch of people about him. But eventually you talk to the sheriff, and he points you in the direction of the bar, Moriarty. And you figure out that Moriarty knows where your dad is. And you can learn where exactly your father is by hook or by crook if you do some dirty deeds for Moriarty, or you hack his terminal. You find out that your dad has gone to Galaxy News Radio in the center of DC. So you head off to DC. You get there, you meet the Brotherhood of Steel for the first time, you fight a behemoth for the first time, and you get a fat man right away. And it's just this epic moment of like, what's this thing do? You know, fat man. And let's not forget the second maybe most important thing other than leaving the vault. You meet Dogg for the first time when you get to GNR. And again, like any good NPC, he knows where your father is, but he won't tell you unless you help him fight the good fight. Mm-hmm. And what he wants you to do is he wants you to travel to the Museum of Technology, steal a satellite dish, and pop it up on the top of the Washington Monument. And so you can do that, or you can persuade him to tell you where your father is, or I think you can hack a terminal. Am I not mistaken? Maybe? Nobody? Okay. I think you might be able to hack a terminal as well and figure out where your father is. But either way...
You can get it off of Moriarty's terminal, can't you?
But no, you learn that more...
That's to go to Dogg.
Yeah. But I think there's a terminal you can find at Dogs. But either way...
I've never killed Dogg. I would never...
No, not kill Dogg, but
Asher in the chat says, boy, does 76 need a Dogg.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool if there was a voice on the Appalachia radio and no one could find him?
I was really, really disappointed that there was no DJ in 76. And they didn't even need to have a human NPC. It could have been a robot. You know, look at how charming Rose is.
Yeah.
There's no reason why.
They always could add that, though. You heard it here, Bathinturn. We want a robot radio DJ.
Please do this, Bathinturn.
I'll be the voice of said robot.
Hey, they're looking. I'm just saying. They're hiring
don't
a voice.
Tell the world. So anyway, yes. You meet Dogg, and you figure out that your pops was headed to Rivet City.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you go? Anywhere but Rivet City, because it's Fallout 3. You can go anywhere. But you go to Rivet City, and you meet up with his old colleagues and a lady named Dr. Lee. And this is where the story of Fallout 3 parallels that of 1 and 2, where your problem is then overshadowed by an even larger problem that's bigger than your problem, and it's more important than your problem at hand. You find out that your dad was working on something called Project Purity when your mother died, and that, and also lack of interest from the Brotherhood of Steel after many failed attempts, they left you vulnerable to super mutants. The super mutants moved in, and you all pretty much, Dr. Lee, your dad, they all fled the Jefferson Memorial where the Project Purifier was at. So Dr. Lee goes to Rivet City, and your dad takes you underground to be safe and to raise you. But your dad wandered over to Vault 112 to look for the Gek, because the Gek was needed to fix and finish Project Purity, because he hasn't given up hope. Project Purity was this project that I think Catherine, your mother, and James, your father, came up with to purify the water in the tidal basin and then eventually the Potomac River, because pure water is a very precious commodity to everyone in the wasteland, because most of water is toxic. So it's certainly a precious commodity to everyone in the wasteland, except for some reason you, because you always have like 30,000 purified waters on you, and you're like, well, I could just give it out, and they're like, no, Project Purity. So it's a needed project. Anyway, so it's built in the ruins of the old Jefferson Memorial Building, and since, like I said before, had been taken over by super mutants after the Brotherhood of Steel left. You set out to Vault 112 to find your father and the Gek. Upon getting to Vault 112, your father is trapped in a VR pod in this virtual reality simulation, and I cannot remember what it's called. What was that?
Tranquility Lane.
Yeah, Tranquility Lane. So your father's trapped in there by the Vault's sadistic overseer, Dr. Braun.
Dr. Stanislav Braun.
Stanislav. So I feel like that's a play on Strangelove.
It might be. It's just such a fabulous name. I feel like
It's have like the Tranquility Lane feel is definitely sort of like a strange love kind of.
it's like this absurdity.
Yeah.
So you enter the VR and you basically kill everyone else that's trapped in the VR simulation, including Dr. Braun, but you free you and your dad. So all it's not lost. The Gek isn't at Vault 112, so you and your dad return to Rivet City and get and he links up with Dr. Lee and the rest of the crew, and they head for the memorial to take it back over and boot up Project Purity again. So you get there, you lay waste to the mutants, and you take the purifier back, and at that exact moment, the Enclave shows up like a bad video game trigger, and they take over. They demand that you hand over that your father and all them hand over the project to the Enclave, and they give you an option A: you hand over the project nicely and everyone lives, or option B: you don't hand over the project and everyone dies and they get it anyway. But your dad chooses option C, floods the purification chamber with radiation and kills himself and a few Enclave guards, giving you time to escape with everyone. The survivors flee to the Pentagon, which is held by the Brotherhood of Steel. From there, you travel to Vault 83 to get the Gek. And at this point, it becomes this vendetta mission where you're like, no, I've got to finish. So you travel to Vault 83 and get the Gek. And inside of this place, I think this is where you meet Fox.
It is, and I thought it was Vault 87.
Is it Vault 87? One of the vaults. You meet Fox and you get the Gek, because Vault 83-7 was an FEV test site. It's flooded with radiation, and Fox walks in and gets it for you, basically, and walks out with
Fox
it. Fox
is an intelligent super mutant, by the way, for anybody who hasn't played this game. He
it
is
is
an
87.
intelligent and peaceful super mutant.
Yeah, Fox is awesome. He's a good guy.
I love it.
He's a good guy, that Fox. Anyway. So you and Fox get the Gek and you exit Vault 83. After you get the Gek, the Enclave shows up like a VD flare-up and captures you and the Gek and takes you to Raven Rock, because they're jerks. But when you get to Raven Rock, you are taken to meet the Mr. AI president, and he tells you that he wants you to finish Project Purity, but he wants you to stick in a modified version of the FEV that will kill any sort of mutated life form and any living life that's mutated in the Capital Wasteland. By the way, you're mutated too. Because you've been out in the wasteland, your DNA is not pure, so you will die if you do this anyway. After that conversation, you have a choice to leave peacefully, or through some dialogue options, you can convince the AI president to self-destruct the entire base. Now, I say you have a choice, but technically, after you destroy the base, because let's face it, that's the only real choice you should make, you head to the memorial with your Gek and your crew and the Brotherhood of Steel in tow to finish Project Purity and clean up the town's water supply. And upon... no, that's wrong. You head to the... because the Enclave is still has control of the memorial, so you head to the Pentagon, and that's when the Brotherhood of Steel gives you Liberty Prime, and they're like, yeah, by the way, the Enclave are commies, and then they push him out the door, and he just waltzes over to the memorial and murder kills everything in the way. So you get to the Jefferson Memorial. Liberty Prime is nuking everything in sight. Colonel Autumn, for some reason, thinks he can survive this onslaught, which he doesn't. And you win the day. The Purifier is yours. You've got the Gek. Everyone's with you. Sarah Lyons is with you. Dr. Lee's with you. Let's remember Fox is right there, right? Because you come from Raven Rock and Fox is in tow. And when you get to the Purifier, the chamber is still flooded with radiation that your father let in. And you have a choice. If you don't have the DLC, you have a choice. You can either send Sarah Lyons in there to die and start the Purifier, or you can do it yourself and die. And, whoever goes in there dies. Meanwhile, Fox whistles in the corner of the room.
You can also go in there and not put the code in fast enough and die without achieving the goal.
That's true. But yeah, Fox is in the corner like, don't mind me, the mutant here, who could just walk in and hit the button and walk out. It's fine. I won't. Yep. But if you do get the Broken Steel DLC, if you choose to go into the place, you can survive. You obviously survive if Sarah Lyons goes in, but everyone kind of is mad at you for that. And then you also have the obvious choice of sending Fox in there. So, yeah. Shalene, what's your note here? Even though the literal point of Fox is to go into a highly rated area, if you ask him to do this, he makes you feel like a total piece of crap. Oh, yes, that's true. If you don't have the DLC, he does guilt you and like, this is your destiny, not...
Even with the DLC, he makes you feel like a piece of trash, which is crazy, just totally crazy.
It is.
Because it doesn't affect him. That's the literal purpose of this character, was to go into that highly rated area of Vault 87 and get the Gek for you because you could not survive it on your own. And I just, it's dumb.
The ending of Fallout 3, I remember, was like a big point where everyone was like, wait, what? We can't continue after this. And, it was such a hard stop. And it was, I liked it. I liked that abrupt, ending because, I was like that with the Mass Effects. After I did the ending, I couldn't go back and change anything. I couldn't reload my previous save of when I'm standing there and everyone's in the purifying chamber and they're like, go do it. And I'm like, I'll be back. And I leave and go adventuring. I couldn't do that. I had to start a whole new character just to adventure. I couldn't just leave that story hanging in limbo, But yeah, that's the story of Fallout 3. A man was born, he lived, and depending on if you had the DLC, he died or didn't. So yeah. The eventful ending there. You both look absolutely bored.
Well, I don't really remember Fallout 3. I remember certain things about it that sparked joy. But the ending certainly did not, and I think that's why I don't remember it.
I think I've only beat 3
put it
once,
out of my mind.
honestly. Because I beat him, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to spend 30,000 hours just exploring and never finishing the quest again.
Fallout 3 for me was my Inception game. Fallout New Vegas was the bread and butter of the Fallout franchise for me. That was my game that I liked the most out of all of them. But yeah.
Well, we will get to New Vegas's story soon. But before we get on with the rest of the show, we have a weapon of the week, and it is the Wazer Rifle.
Oh.
Yeah, the Wazer Rifle is a unique version of the AER-9 laser rifle, and there's a quick little backstory of the AER-9 laser rifle. It wasn't the best laser rifle. It wasn't the most powerful laser rifle, but it was the most reliable construction of a laser rifle and the most usable one. There was an AER-12 that saw pre-war production and some action, and there was also an AER-14 laser rifle that you can find in Vault 22, but for the most part, most rifles that you pick up or the AER9 versions. It had a titanium-housed crystal array, which focused the light and stuff to make the laser. And it also lasted longer than the gold alloy housing of the later models, which led to its reliability. This allowed the crystals to stay focused and pew-pew. It would actually fire. They used microfusion cells as ammo, and it's processed through the wave particle diverters made by General Atomics International. I love the fact that they put all these little details into this game, that like this is actually how the laser gun works.
Yeah.
The diverters are protected by a carbon fiber housing, and that prevents the frequent malfunctions. But when a diverter fails, the weapon does become unusable, because think about it, like the crystals can't focus right and the light doesn't get focused right. And I wonder if tweaking those crystals in such a way is how they get the scattered laser shotgun things. I wonder. Laser rifles need to be maintained well in order to function, because all the little parts and pieces have to line up right. They're prone to be unstable and explode or not fire or things like that if they aren't kept up with and polished. The Wazer rifle is identical in looks to the standard laser rifles, but it does 5 more damage and has a larger ammo capacity of 30 rather than, I think, 24. It's also 80% more durable. So there's that. And Shalene was mad at me because I forgot to add this little tidbit in. How you get the Wazer rifle is you go to Widow Wamp White and you get it from Billy.
Yeah. Well, you know, how do you... That's why it's called the Wazer rifle.
I
It's
realized
Billy.
this. You know, the whole reveal of the Wazer rifle is great, because he's like you eventually get around to like, I want to buy this Wazer rifle, and he's talking to you about it. And you just think he's calling it the Wazer rifle because he says Billy, and he just has that speech impediment thing going on. But then you actually get the Wazer rifle, and it's spelled Wazer rifle. So did Billy get the speech impediment because he read Wazer rifle on the side of the thing, and he's like, well, that's just how it's pronounced? Or did it become named that because of his impediment? I don't know, but that's how you get it.
So great. And in Fallout 4, you can get one from Synth Sean.
Oh, yeah. You get the Wazer.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Dr. Lee is also in Fallout 4, but we will talk about her on the next episode of Fallout, that Fallout show, episode 23, Our Story So Far, Part 4. But before we end tonight's episode, we have some emails, comments, that sort of thing, and we're going to get to Lee Benjamin, who actually left us a voicemail. So they haven't heard this yet. I have.
Okay.
And he brings up some good points. It's only 30 seconds. So here we go.
Hi, Shalene, Rick, and Vendertron. This is Lee Benjamin. It recently came to my attention that some of the Fallout 76 challenges are bugged, specifically the Discover Locations challenges. These are worth 40 atoms each, so we're all losing out by them being bugged, and they've been bugged for months. Let's see if we can get the Bethesda working on that. Thanks as always for a great show. Take care, and I'll see you in the wasteland.
He does bring up a good point. You know,
He does.
If the challenges are what helps pad our atoms, and they're bugged, it's like, you know,
That
we're not
sucks.
We're being cheated.
we're stealing money. Money's stolen from us, you know. And that's what I was saying before. They have some issues they need to fix. Let's fix them and then make some more content.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you guys ever been a
Yes,
victim of bugs like that?
So, the Thintern, if you're listening, please work on Lee's problem, okay? Can you do that for us?
Yeah, because I've been a victim of not getting atoms from challenges due to bugged challenges. So, have you guys?
I mean, the first quest I ever did in Fallout never spawned the part of the challenge that was supposed to happen. And I was just standing there waiting. Like,
Yep.
okay. And it was bugged.
Yep.
I figured out afterwards that it was bugged. So
Yeah.
never did actually complete that
It's always
challenge.
a bad feeling. You know what's a good
Yeah.
feeling, though? Another email. Who wants to
Hey.
take it? Vendor.
Okay. This email comes from Mock. He says, I just discovered your Fallout podcast, episode 20. Boy, are you in for a journey. You should listen to the previous 20 episodes. And I don't know if you are still around since it's been more than a month, but I wanted to say I like it, and also to post a comment that might make for a good discussion topic if you do another. Okay, well, we're still here, So that's good.
It has
I'm
been.
not worried.
It's bi-weekly, Mark. It's bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Well, we missed a show. That's why he was concerned.
Don't
true.
worry. We got to get him on the Discord. Anyways, he says, I'm not worried about the rough start or that kind of thing. I look to the future. My wife and I play for the adventure of doing things together and the fun of questing. Now that we have reached the end of the main storyline and killed the queen, I feel like we have been abandoned. There is literally nothing to do but ridiculous dailies and events, big game hunter, putting food on the barbecue grill, stopping a parade, eating moldy hot dogs. Seriously? I feel like people who might want to play or to role play or just feel like they are doing something good are being ignored. What do we get for extra content? A 10-minute quest to make booze and a bunch of dailies around it, then PvP mode. Now we have scouts and a series of ridiculous things to do to get a backpack. Woo! I remember talk of another faction. Whatever happened to that? Why is it so hard to come up with something new and use some of the great environment? Was there ever anything related to the crashed space station? I could think of a dozen quests around that. What about the gigantic digger thing? There is one dumb daily, and that is all the mention something that is literally the largest thing on the map gets. What about that weird red powder that comes down from the red trees? And those giant standing estates? Seriously, not a single quest or reason for their existence. What about the weird plane spaceship in one of them? You could easily string a whole chain of cool quests around that. Come on, Bethesda. Anyway, I wondered about your thoughts, Mark. So I think nailed it. Like all of those things. That is some great content. I hope that some of those actually come to light in the Bethesda E3 conference.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about before. Somebody else who's like, there's just so much rigmarole to get through. But I will say that, he's also suffering from the thing that we were talking about. This game does not make you feel like you're doing anything good because you aren't that character this time.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's cool. I think we can all understand that, like, this is not that sort of Fallout game. But yeah, I would love to see factions. Let's all make a clan or a faction, like a whole clan system would be awesome. Let's have a more robust way of getting people together. Let's, like, guilds, you know what I mean? Let's make guilds and be able to, like, set up things to do as guilds, guild specific events maybe. I don't know. I just feel like that would be a big expansion on the community aspect of the game.
I wonder if private servers really are the only answer.
I wouldn't say they're the only answer. They will be certainly a answer to, like an ARC server, in the sense that you're able to build and do anything you want to.
Because
I would really like to have persistent creations.
Well, because one of the issues,
yeah.
One of the things that I don't like about participating in the events is that there is a smorgasbord of other characters in power armor that are kitted out and way higher level than I am, and they just go in and they're like bow, and it's done, and I'm just like stimming myself with the stim pack, and I turn around and you're like, oh, it's done. Like, if I had a private server, I could control that,
Exactly. Yeah.
We could be like, hey guys, when are we going to do this event together? And then we go and we do it, the 5 of us or the 6 of us that we know each other and we have a plan and we're going to do this. And yeah,
absolutely. And I have nothing but high hopes going forward. And I know we've talked about stuff that the Bethintern is putting on a checklist now. And
I'm sure by the time this podcast goes down, that Lee Benjamin issue is going to be fixed already.
Yeah.
And we have nothing but love for Fallout and the Bethesda community and the communities around those games that have been built. So yes, I'm excited for BE3 next week. Shalene, I'm excited for you to have this experience. And it's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a lot to report on. But that is the end of this show. Have we any announcements to make?
Well, we have guests next week.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to have TFS on the Friday. We'll have GameStack. Shalene, you're going to be here for that, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be here for the next episode of GameStack.
You fly out on the Saturday.
Yes. The
And
Saturday
then
one.
on the Sunday, Rick and I are going to be hosting the third annual that Fallout. Well, I guess it would be our 1-year anniversary for that Fallout show, but
Yep.
also our third annual BE3 live stream, and with special guests Liz and Tim.
Don't we have a guest for next GameStack?
We do.
Yes. We have a guest
Yes.
for next GameStack.
Yeah, 2 guests.
Breaking news! 2 guests.
2 guests.
Yeah, I said 2 guests.
Are we
Okay, well,
announcing
you're
who they
gonna-
are?
Both. Yes.
Okay.
Are we saying who they are?
Yeah.
That's why I was just asking.
Okay, it's Setsua and Sean.
Oh, Sean's on too? I didn't know this.
Oh,
Setsua and
fantastic.
Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who
so-
Sean is.
Yeah, lots of good things coming. I'm
Guess I have to do
excited.
some research, huh?
I mentioned it. But yeah, they're going to be on, and it's going to be great.
Wonder
so.
why they're going to be on. It's going to be a fun time.
Also, starting next Sunday, Shalene and I have decided, starting next Sunday, we'll be hosting a series of, or a mini-series, an E3 mini-series.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah, outside of the GameStack and TFS podcast. So we're just
I
gonna.
can tell you all about hanging out with Snoop Dogg.
It's literally just gonna be.
Please get a picture of you with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh
you
man.
do realize it's going to be a picture of like Snoop Dogg way over there.
Just, no, go meet the guy. Oh, gosh. Ask him to be a guest.
He's surrounded by security.
That would be wild. Just wild. Oh man. But anyways,
Fallout 70 sizzle.
yeah, it. Some of the miniseries may or may not have all 3 of us there. So we'll just kind of try to make that happen and do it as we go through the week. But it'll be a nice recap of everything that's happening at E3.
Cool. What's FF?
I'm excited. I was on last night's episode of the Fallout feed. Yeah, so you can check that out on the Fallout feed. Our friends over at ASA Podcasting invited me to be on Fallout feed, so it was fun. It was a good episode.
Cool.
Speaking of our friends over at ASA Podcasting, you may recall back in February, I did a special Galentine's Day episode of the Fallout feed with some women from the ASA Podcasting group. And we had so much fun that we decided to make it a thing. And now it's called Dames Who Game. Episode 2 is up on the Fallout feed. We will have our own feed very soon. But
I recall. Yes.
yeah. Yes. You can find Dames Who Game on Twitter and check out that podcast.
That's awesome. I listened to the first 5 minutes this morning while I was drinking my coffee, and it sounds pretty good. I got to finish the rest of it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the new show, Shalene. And
it's a big group too, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's
it's a very large
six
panel.
of you.
6 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, again, congrats on the show, Shalene, and congrats to everyone who made it through another episode of That Fallout Show without getting burnt. You can tweet at us at That Fallout Show. You can also tweet at the network at We Just Love Games. You can tweet at Muwa, and of course, why wouldn't you want to do that? I'm at Rick McVick. Shalene is at Shalene L, and Vendor is at VendorTron N. You can find us on Facebook as well at facebook.com/thatfalloutshow and facebook.com/groups/thatfalloutshow. Just as We Just Love Games is facebook.com/We Just Love Games or /groups/We Just Love Games ///. You can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. You can drop us a line there or drop us a audio clip there. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTubes at youtube.com/We Just Love Games. And as always, you can find us live every Friday night here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. You can also find our show on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Leave us a review there. If you leave us a review with 5 stars and some texts, we will shout you out at the beginning of the show. As always, we stream here, like I said, Friday at, you deleted the thingy. It's gone. The times.
Well, you already said the thing.
I know, but I didn't say the times.
6:30 Mountain Time, 8:30 Eastern Time.
There we go.
6:30 p.m. real time on Fridays.
I usually delete one of those when I'm doing show notes, but I didn't do it today.
Did I say it already?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's
Cute.
okay. I'm sorry.
Trash fires to the end.
Anyhow, you can check out our other show, Game Stack. And we do Twitch streams when we can. We haven't done one in a while. We got to catch up with our Survival Horror Sundays. Thank you guys.
And Life is Strange as well.
Oh yeah, isn't there a new one coming out soon?
Yeah,
Wait.
the new one's already out.
Oh gosh, we got to do it. Thank you everyone so much for listening to this, whatever it was. Shalene, what's your last word?
Hey, mister, you want to buy my Wazel rifle?